Hi, right, we're in Phnom Penh. We've come to the Genocide Museum. It's Prison 21, where they brought people after they're arrested. They tortured them and then they took them uh, to beat them to death at the killing fields. So, we're here to have a look. So, this is it. So we'll see what we see when we're over here.
Yeah, please. Where's the phone? Oh,
What's it for?
it was high school, like I said. Yeah, called Tuol Swipe Ray High School was built in 1962. So under the Khmer, they convert to the prison called H21, Security Office 21, among 167 prison in Cambodia. Building A, B, C, and D. Building A have been used to detain high-ranking officials, detain longer, 6 months to 1 year. You know why? Because they need more information from them. That's why they detain longer. 1979, we found 14 corpses in the building A. So we buried them here behind you. Yes. So when the Khmer flee from Phnom Penh, they kill all of them. Yeah, you will see their picture. Blood stain on the floor. Probably they use knife to cut their throat. And building B, yeah, classroom divides in tiny cells, yeah, about less than 1 meter, like 0.80 and 2 meter long. And all prisoners were shacked, can't unlock. They treat them very badly, and all skin got skin disease. They're hygienic very bad. They got rosacea, asthma, lice, ringworms, and stench. And some of them starved to death, and some bleeding to death, and some suffocate to death. They put a black plastic bag. So those, they are comrades. So they call a comrade, yeah? The Khmer is communists. So their security were killed after when they suspect, they call a brother enemies. So they put a plastic bag to suffocate. And some were hanged upside down. The gallows over there have been used to hang prisoners. You see from here that the students used to conduct their exercise. Also, they convert to the torture tool. Cable attached to the pole, and they tie the hand to the back, and they crawling upside down until prisoner they lose their consciousness. And then they dip their head into the jar. Inside the jar, sewage. Unconscious and repeat again and again. around 17,000 prisoners were imprisoned here. But we found 8 adult survivors, and we found 4 children survivors on this prison. Skill and fortune. 2 was painter, mechanic, carpenter, photographer, translators. One day there's a meeting at the stadium in Phnom Penh. So they need painting to propaganda. So they found 2 guys here, woman and one man. So they have a portrait, portrait, and they look for someone who can paint, and they found 2 guys. But before paint, they threat. They telling them, if your painting not close enough, I kill you. And after paint, twice like very close, hot one, keep them alive. Mechanic, he repair typewriter, because typewriter also useful to record. And they found Chum Mei, his name Chum Mei. After repair typewriter, kept him alive. And translator, he speak French and Vietnamese and English. Also keep him alive to translate. And photographer also kept him alive. And carpenter, he built cell for them. Also keep him alive. And we found 4 children survivors that they hide under piles of the victim clothes. Also, yeah, still alive. Some of them return here. You can see them on the way out. Yeah. One painter still alive. He's over 80 now, 87. And mechanic, 93, 94. Yeah, still alive. And 2 kids. Yeah, return here. And you will meet them. If you have any question, yeah, you can ask them. Woman is back scouts now from torture. Beat until injured, and then they use salt to rub. You can see his body all scars. And Jim Mei, his toenails were pulling, and his finger also broke. Tried to protect himself during the beat. So it broke him. Yeah. Nearly 4 years, 3 years, 8 months, and 20 days. It killed about 2 million people in Cambodia. I lost 5 men in my family. My father also killed. I was born 71, 1971. Until today, I don't know where they killed my father. And I don't know where they killed my uncle. Like I said, yeah, many killing sites in Cambodia. Over 300 killing sites. My father was a nurse. 75, he evacuated like other people to the, rural countryside, forced to work. And then he was arrested in 1978. And then the whole family escaped to the jungle. 1 year, when I was 5, 6 years old. And my uncle was a commando parachute from the previous officer, also were killed. Yeah, 1 lieutenant and 1 colonel. So I don't know where they killed them. 79, when we returned to the village, try to look for them, but unsuccess. So my mother, my aunt, came here to look for their picture, but unsuccess. They sent to another prison. So they kill most intellectual people, yeah, like teacher, professor, engineer, doctor. Khmer, they want to change Cambodia to the agriculture, like the ultra communists. They say no rich, no poor, equal. And they said only Marxist Leninist was only one way that achieve Cambodia to independence and equality. So all of them start from the jungle. Yeah, they call Maki. Maki in French word. So one is a jungle in French. That's called Maki. Yeah, like a Marxist jungle. So they start from there. It's guerrilla soldiers. And most of them were brainwashed. That's why they are so, brutal and cruel. Kill their own people, kill their own families. Start, very young, 14, 15, 16, 17 years old, and brainwash. So they start from the jungle, from the eastern zone near Vietnam border, northeast. Very sad, you know, in 50 years, we changed 5 regimes. Before Khmer, ton of bombs, yeah, by American, because Ho Chi Minh trial, they sent Viet Cong to Cambodia from the north. Politics here, so crazy. I hope you learn some history of Cambodia before. So I think you knew some about the civil war here. Yeah. Sometimes we cannot talk about the politics here. At the moment, they set up defamation law. If you criticize, it's unsafe. Will be sent to the jail. And also, we cannot criticize the royal family or the king. Yeah, it's not allowed. Cambodia, most of the leaders, big influence by the communists until today. Meru was supported by the Chinese. After harvest, the rice were exported to China and bring the weapon to Cambodia. That's why thousands of people die by starvation. Work very hard, but eat just a little watery porridge. Young people during my generation, I have 4 siblings. My sister also forced to work under the marriage. Cut small plant and collect cow dung to produce fertilizer. Also forced to digging canal, plant rice. Yeah, my mother also forced to work. Yeah, even the old people also forced to work. My grandmother. Yeah. My mother passed away 4 years ago at 85. She very strong woman. After Khmer looked after 4 children. Worked very hard. send all the children to school. Yeah. So proud of her. The last, she have a stroke, yeah, and trauma. Many people had trauma after the Khmer. Some people they don't want to talk about the bitter past. Yeah. When she ever talk about the bitter past, she shed a tear. That's why they don't want to talk. Lost brother, lost husband. Okay, you have any questions? Yeah, please.
So we're gonna start in Block A, is where they kept the officers things, but up to a year before they killed them, torturing them, interrogating them. These graves here are the 14 corpses that were found still in Block A when the Khmer Rouge had gone and killed the last of the prisoners, except for, as he said, the 7 that were found still alive. So we're going to Block A.
And this is shack attached to the bed with a plant. Yeah. So one prisoner, one box, and one box, and 5 would who urinate. Some prisoners were forced to eat their own faces or drink their own urine. It's low. Yes, blood stain on the floor. So these are the previous officer before the Khmer Rouge, 70 to 75, was supported by American. So these soldiers from people Khmer Republic, Republic Khmer. So those from the regime were targeted. And they detained longer if they need more information from them. So when the Khmer Rouge left, yeah, they killed them. So we found 14 corpses. So this one among 14. Windows were shut. Doors were shut. And the prisoner not allowed to talk to security guard. Definitely. Also, security guard not allowed to talk to the prisoner. Just stay still, wait for their order. And surrounding this area have been used for their office. They used for interrogation office. So some of them took out to torture outside. So Phnom Penh is like a old city, empty. Around 300 officers working here. So they divide into 3 main units: defense, documentation, and finance. Defense, they have 2 groups of security guard, hard group and cold group. Hard group responsible to capture, bring people here to torture, and then transport to kill. Cold group responsible to guard around this compound. Document Agent responsible to taking photograph and record. Finance responsible for financial, yeah, cooking, food. So they give them only two times meal. It's no only like a small food, watery porridge. Telling and torturing. And this is another prisoner. Here you can see that the blood stain. Yeah. It was stained the whole building. After Khmer this new government clean it up, send people to clean. Inside the sewage with their head into the jar to unconscious. Under the Khmer is a garden around here. And after torture, they use the sewage for plantation. Yeah. Oh, yeah. They use the varnish. They use the scatter. The landscape.
So I'm filming bits as we go around and obviously trying to catch pieces of the commentary. But this is the gallows where they used to hang people upside down from their arms, and those used to contain sewage they used to dip their heads into. So I've come away from the tour for a bit because I'm dying with the heat. It's very warm. There's not a lot of air. It's quite a harrowing kind of visit, really. But anyway, so there's a couple more buildings to go through, but I get the idea. And without one dismissing, I can, understand what happened. So I'm Not going to do any more in here. There's plenty of documentaries you can see that'll show you more, tell you more. But we are going to go to the killing fields next. So I'll film something on there and I'll bring you back later.
Just gonna look at you.
Yeah. These are the cells.
Hey.
The cells.
Hey.
The cells.
Yeah. You reckon these would have been completely blocked off? How would you get freedom?
No, that's how they got in, right? The gates.
With the gates on.
Yeah.
Không ai được ấy.
You still have a door. Yes, the hole. Then they put a bath costume by themselves,
Yeah.
and then they check.
There's feet with shackles. So they'd have to just, they couldn't move then. So this was the 4 children who survived this prison, and after the Khmer Rouge left, they'd hid under piles of prisoners' clothes apparently. And when the army got here, obviously found all the dead bodies. They found 7 adults and these 4 children who had survived. And that was it. Out of the 70 to 20,000 detainees who were brought through here and tortured and murdered. These 4 kiddies survived, and we'll see 2 of them shortly, I think. In the 90s now, or 80s and 90s. So there we go. I don't really need to say a lot more, do I? This is Killing Fields. Show you how they did it.
Hello, sir.
Yeah. So, this is all part of the Killing Fields. Some have been excavated, some hasn't. So there's still remains here of the victims.
This woman is close to the bus. Like this mobile, this one, you can see light in the bus.
All their clothes. Just gonna walk around past these people.
Smell.
Unpleasant. Some of the bones that were excavated from here. Well, it's over when you think there's millions of victims who just murdered and dumped here. Murdered here. We're going to go around to the tree shortly where they killed the babies. It's everywhere you look. There's fragments of clothing from bodies of the victims. Now, here, this tree is where Khmer Rouge used to smash the babies' heads against the tree to kill them.
Ladies and gentlemen, they look good trade. In the patent that they did. Total 100 victims here. Baby and women. Women were naked. So they rape them before execute. So this suffering by tourists who come to visit killing fields, to cry for women and cry for the baby. They put some toys.
Anche adesso fanno amici, ma anche amici finti. Cercavano di controllare loro una volta questo, una volta con questo, una volta con questo. La politica della Cina, la Cina voleva controllare. La Cina voleva controllare.
Going back to the video.
In the past, this area was a long and occupied. A long and straight. Long and straight like a whole.
Okay, so we're somewhere a bit notorious now. In a place called Hao Lo, and that building in front is the gatehouse to the Hao Lo prison, otherwise known as the Hanoi Hilton. There's queues of people trying to go in. We're not going to bother. It's more to do with the French colonial past and the Vietnam War. But basically, started as a French prison where they imprisoned and tortured Vietnamese, and then later during the Vietnam War the North Vietnamese used it to imprison captured American Air Force mainly, but captured American soldiers. It was notorious for its bad conditions and for torture and murder. So yeah, some people in prison there for a long time, released later after the war. So yeah, Hanoi Hilton. Kept as a prison after the Vietnam War as well, where the Vietnamese communists imprisoned. There's a famous poet, Vietnam poet, other people, but then in the 90s it was demolished apart from that gatehouse. And that hotel, one of the Hilton hotels, was built on the grounds. So, quite ironic. The Hanoi Hilton now has a Hilton hotel on it. So, yeah, so the walls and the gatehouse of the Hanoi Hilton prison.